Good morning. I hope today finds you well. And I hope it finds you well. I hope it finds you thoughtful. I hope you find yourself in a good spot. Hey, my name's Tony Curl from Think and Grow Business, and I'm sharing with you some tips around leading through a crisis, because ultimately that's what we found ourselves in. We're in a crisis. And this is about leading not just in the crisis, but leading through the crisis. And yesterday, I spoke about a number of things. Yesterday was our first Facebook Live in relation to this. And I was speaking about everything becomes exaggerated during a crisis. And I spoke about that. And I want to continue along those lines because I really want to add value to you in these times. And I really want to help you lead through this crisis. I'm a John Maxwell coach. I'd love for you to join me next week in a 4-part mastermind series all about diving in to some of John's content and some of John's teachings in relation to leading through a crisis. And I'd love for you to join me on that. And you can see the link on our exploratory session in the comments. But everything is exaggerated during a crisis. You know, bad leadership especially is exaggerated in a crisis. Bad leadership will drive you down faster than ever when we're in a crisis. It'll drag you down quick. Bad leadership is absolutely exaggerated in a crisis because in a crisis, just by its very nature, a crisis is a very negative experience. Bad leadership is also incredibly negative. And when those two get together, the decline is steep. The decline is steep and the decline is fast because everything is exaggerated in a crisis. Now, conversely, great leadership also bucks against the trend here, because while we are in a negative environment in relation to the crisis, great leadership enables you to hold the momentum and hold some forward motion. Great leadership has the best chance of generating that forward momentum against the negative push that is the crisis. Better leadership helps us get through a crisis. Great leadership generates forward momentum as we lead through the crisis. And that's the whole concept that I really want you to embrace, leading through the crisis, not just leading in or managing in a crisis. I want you to think about, how do I lead through the crisis? The realities of what happens in a crisis is that everything is exaggerated. If your business was not good, if your business was bad before the crisis only exaggerates the poor aspects of your business. If your business was great, you've got that ability to maintain some momentum. You've got the ability to look for opportunities. You've got the ability to lead through the crisis. Unfortunately, what we see is that bad business blame the crisis. And while no one's sitting there with open arms welcoming the crisis, the reality is all the crisis is doing is exaggerating the shape of what your business, your career, your management was all about. Everything is exaggerated in a crisis. If your digital marketing wasn't hitting the mark, the crisis simply exaggerates it. If you weren't happy in your job, the crisis simply exaggerates it. If your mindset is not one of growth, the crisis simply exaggerates. Bad business is bad business. Bad leaders are bad leaders. And a crisis exposes this. We spoke yesterday about you either show up in a crisis or you get shown up. And in many cases, a bad business and a bad leader get shown up. So learning to lead through this crisis is absolutely critical now. And it will continue to be critical in the future. A growth mindset is needed now more than ever. A mindset that looks for growth, is proactive in learning, and not allowing themselves to get in the way. A growth mindset is critical. The most important thing for a leader in the growth of their people and a focus on their people. So the most important thing for a leader is to focus in on their people, the growth of their people, the growth of providing them with opportunities, delivering empowerment, allowing their people to prosper. The most important thing for a leader is their people. And that's needed now more than ever. And once again, in good or bad times, care for your people. If you do it in good times and it's front of mind during our bad times, it helps you as a leader, as a business, as a community maintain momentum. Because that's what we need when we're in a crisis. We need to manage and lead and maintain momentum. Whether it's now, during our crisis, or whether when we come through it, when we recover from the crisis. As I said, I want to invite you to a 4-series mastermind session. Starts next week. Now, the first session is an exploratory session. It's absolutely free. You'll get some teachings from John Maxwell, the #1 leadership expert in the world, dissected and deep dived and facilitated in a mastermind format by myself. Now, that would lead to another 3 sessions that week. And for those 3 sessions, it's going to cost you the little bit of $99. $99 for a 4-part mastermind series that will add value to you, no matter what your position, no matter what your business. Now, if you can't afford that $99, reach out to me. Reach out to me. I don't want you to miss this opportunity. So if you can't afford that $99 to do that 4-part mastermind series, I'm going to donate that to you. I'm going to help you get to where you need. This course is so valuable. I've kept the price down low as I can go. But if you're facing financial hardships, just reach out to me and I'll invite you in as my guest. You'll see the link in the comments. Register for the first session. It's absolutely free to register. And from that first session, we can explore the remaining 3 sessions. We're going to do it in a week. Crises don't wait around for anyone. We're going to do 4 sessions in a week. Each session will probably be between 60 and 90 minutes. And we're going to knock it over in a week, because I know that this program, this mastermind, this leading through a crisis, some of the thoughts and research that's been conducted by my mentor, John Maxwell, will absolutely help you lead through this crisis. Links in the comments. And once again, I'll see you tomorrow.